All right. Good morning. Just grab like usual props, a couple blocks, blanket, strap, um, and we're going to start on our backs and have your strap close by. You don't need it right away, but just go ahead and lay down and we'll get started here in just a minute. I'm checking you guys into class. So once you get on your back, try to just close your eyes, get in a comfortable shape, and close your eyes if you haven't yet. And just let your body be soft. So try to relax a bit here. Let your breath be full, even. And just kind of get a sense how you're feeling this morning. Monday morning. I think morning yoga is like its own special thing, not better or worse, just body's in a different place in the morning. Monday morning, I would even say, is different than other mornings. And, kind of account for starting to shift into new weather, colder weather. We've got a lot of rain, clouds today. We're kind of entering really busy season, just with the holidays and stuff. And I think when we're busy, and yoga teachers were guilty of this too, that like that's when we sort of tend to push off the things that we know are good for us to do. We don't have time or we're feeling overwhelmed, and there's a fine line, right? Of like, do you need to sort of like, how can I create ease? But also, I think when it comes to our yoga practice, our meditation practice, like if we can help it, that's probably the last thing we need to do is cut that out when we're busy. It's when we usually tend to need our yoga, mindfulness, meditation practices even more. And so, obviously those of you here, those of you doing this video later, aren't really the ones who need to hear the memo, but still, I think it's a good reminder for all of us. Like, the more we have these practices to come to sort of help ground us and calm us down and work with our stress and bring in our sort of shift in nervous system, like that's a good thing. So just take a few moments here to kind of settle in with that. And the plan this morning is to move around a little bit, more fluid practice, partly because this weather makes me want to just curl up and take a nap, and I don't have that option today. So something to sort of stoke a little internal fire, a little bit of movement, nothing crazy. So last few moments here. We're going to be working a lot with spinal extension flexion, think sort of that cat cow idea, via sun salutations in lots of different ways with different props, different emphasis. But essentially, a sun salutation is just different cat cow movements. And we'll sort of talk about that as we go. So if you have straight legs, go to bend your knees and bring your arms down by your sides. And so we'll start with that very gentle cat cow spinal undulation one on our backs, just really moving the pelvis. So on your inhale here, tip your pelvis forward. You guys know this drill. Arch your low back off the floor slightly. That's inhale. And then exhale, do the opposite. Draw your tail down. Press your low back toward the floor, pubic bone to face. So little baby cat cow. Keep going. Inhale, tip pelvis forward. And exhale, draw the tailbone down, low belly to the mat. Keep going with this. do a few more. Good. After your next exhale, just come to neutral, pause for a moment. So, of course, we're going to settle from subtle to less subtle as we sort of progress through class. So this time, keep your knees bent and interlace your hands behind your head. Open your elbows wide. So we'll add in more of the spinal movement here, like a more of a typical cat-cow. So on your inhale, pelvis will look the same. Tip your pelvis forward, arch your back, but I also want you to lift your chin and press your elbows into the floor. That's all on inhale. And then exhale, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, lift up, do a sit-up. Pull your elbows toward each other and towards your legs as you round up into a ball. Good. Inhale, open everything up, arch your back, lift your chin, open elbows wide. Exhale, curl up, sit up. Good. Keep going. So inhale's like the cow pose. Exhale, your little sit up rounded back is like cat pose. So extension, flexion. Continue on your own breath. Let's do a few more. On your next exhale, add a little twist. Don't pick up your foot. Just add a little rotation so that we can switch it up a little, and just do a few more like this. With the exhale, you do your sit up and then rotate to the other side. Last couple. Good. Go ahead and, sorry, I'm yawning. Release your arms. The weather. And just pause here on your back. Take a couple of breaths. Grab your strap if you have one that's hopefully close by. Just want to open the hamstrings a little bit before we get going in our sun salutes. So hook the strap around the right foot and just extend your right leg up here. Let's keep the left leg bent for now. And just firm that right leg, spread the toes and press your heel up toward the ceiling. If and when you want, you can straighten left leg on the floor. That's optional. Just kind of depends how you're feeling. But if you're going to straighten left leg, press that left leg down, firm it so it's as firm and engaged as the right leg is. Otherwise, just keep the leg bent. And we'll take several breaths here. Take a couple more breaths here. Good. Bend your left leg if it was straight. Slip your left foot up in the loop or the strap and then take your right foot out. Just put your right foot on the floor, bent knee for now. We'll switch sides. So really work to firm left leg, spread left toes, peel the left toes towards you. And then if and when you're ready, and you did so on the first side, you can straighten that right leg, press it down, and just breathe here. Several more breaths. Good last moment here. Keep your left foot in the strap. Bring your right foot in the strap. Pause with both legs in the air. Trying to make 90 degrees. So some of you with more open hamstrings might have to move your feet a little away from you so they're more stacked heels on top of hips. And pull down with the strap. Pull your toes down. Really slide both heels up. Take a moment there. And then do the opposite, almost like you're trying to point your toes. Don't quite go all the way. You're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together and try to reach your toes up toward the ceiling. Notice how my legs are still straight. So we're getting like a nice ankle stretch. Maybe it's not nice, but a definite ankle stretch. Couple breaths. Good. You can bend your knees, take the strap off, set the strap out of the way, and just pause for a moment here on your back. So Surya Namaskar A, sun salutation from our back. So we're gonna make similar shapes before we get up and do it. So stretch your arms overhead, straight arms, backs of hands glued to the mat, palms face the ceiling. So your arms are straight. If they're like super loosey-goosey, firm them up. And then like we just did, only no straps, stretch both feet up toward the ceiling, but separate your feet about hip width distance apart. So essentially this 90-degree-ish shape is like our down dog. Pull your front ribs in and press your low belly to the floor. Squeeze your legs and breathe. Squeeze your legs and your arms and breathe. Good. Keep your legs here for just a second. Stretch your fingers up to the ceiling and flex your wrist like you were doing plank pose on the ceiling. And then slowly lower your legs all the way to the floor. So you're like in Tadasana with your hands to the ceiling. So plank pose on our backs. Firm your legs, pull your ribs in, push your low back down and push the ceiling away from you. So you almost feel your shoulder blades come away from the mat. Hold. Firm the thighs. And then move your hands down like an inch or two. Bend your elbows, hug them close to you until your elbows touch the floor next to the sideways. Yeah, your wrists are still flexed. This is a chaturanga. Great. Stay here. Tuck your shoulders underneath you so you open your chest up. Pull your belly back and squeeze your legs, almost like you're still trying to press your low back to the mat. Breathe. Good. Bring your arms down by your sides. Bend your knees. Feet hip width. Inhale, lift yourself up like a little bridge pose. This is our back bend. It's like cobra, but not quite the same. Good. One more breath. Lower your hips down. Stretch arms overhead. Bring your feet up to the ceiling. Supine Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Breathe here. Good. Bring your hands to the ceiling. Flex your wrists. Lower your legs all the way to the floor. Plank pose. Move your hands down a bit. Bend your elbows. Exhale. Chaturanga. Tuck your shoulders underneath you. Bend your knees. Put your arms down by your sides. Inhale. Up you come. Bhujangasana, like cobra, but really it's bridge pose. Good. Lower back down. Last but not least, arms overhead. Stretch your feet up. Take 2 breaths. One more breath. Awesome. Bend your knees, hug them into your chest, and rock a little bit side to side. Good. When you're ready, rock yourself up to sit. Fix your hair if you're like me. And we're going to come to hands and knees. Hands are toward the top-ish part of your mat. Spread your fingers wide. And like we did on our backs, cat, cow, inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone up, arch your back, sink between the shoulder blades and look up. Exhale, cat pose, round the back, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, puff up your spine. Good, you guys, do a few more like this. Good, how about a couple more? And once you finish your last exhale here, come to more of a neutral spine. Open your knees up wide, bring your big toes together, press back for a moment, child's pose. And let your elbows touch the floor, forehead touch the floor. Let your hips be heavy, and we'll take several moments here. Last few breaths. Good. All right. Come up to hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide here and turn your hands out a little bit. You really want those index fingers to point straight ahead, be more parallel to each other. And then tuck the toes, back and up you go, downward facing dog. And it's our first down dog this morning, I'm guessing, most likely. So just take a little warming up here, any bending, movement, wiggling, shaking, all sorts of things. Just take a few moments to do that. Good. And then find stillness here, but continue to push the mat away with the pads of your fingers. Let your shoulders move a little bit away from the ears. Keep your head and neck soft. Bend your knees a little bit, you guys, and push your chest closer to your thighs. Keep your knees bent, lift your heels up, and lift your hips up higher, higher, higher. Chest closer to legs, and then keep your hips high. Straighten your legs, and slowly stretch those heels back and down. Breathe here. Walk your hands back to your feet. So you end up at the back of your mat. Feet are hip width. Take some time to spread your toes. Use your fingers to spread them if you have to. Make a nice wide base. Legs are as straight as you can. You don't have blocks nearby. So if you can't get your hands to the floor, your fingers to the floor, keep your knees as bent as you need to. But from here, just let your upper body hang. Kind of drape your belly on your thighs and work the legs straighter if possible. Breathe. Good. Couple more breaths here. Peek forward. Slowly walk yourself back. Downward facing dog. Good. This time, look forward again. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. And when you're ready, bend your knees a little, hands to hips. Take your time. Stand up slowly. And pause here. Standing. Mountain pose, Tadasana, arms down by your sides. Legs are nice and firm. Take a couple of breaths. So have your 2 blocks off the top of your mat. Let's have them tall if you have blocks. And then we'll start with our feet hip width. So the heels are kind of right under your pelvis. Legs strong. On your next inhale breath, sweep your arms out and up. Look up at your hands, touch your palms, and then exhale, bring arms down by your side. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, sweep arms up, look up. Good. Exhale, bring your arms down. One more. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Look up, touch your palms together. This time, exhale as you go forward, come all the way down. Put your hands on blocks. So the blocks are kind of right under your shoulders. Straighten your arms, lift up halfway. Bend your knees a little bit. So this is like our cow pose. So you're gonna keep your knees bent for now. Arms are straight on the block. Lift your sit bones up, arch your back, look up like you were doing cow pose. I want to feel you feel engaged back muscles here, and then straighten your legs, but keep this cow pose. This is Ardha Uttanasana. Keep your hands on your blocks, legs straight. Exhale, bend your elbows, fold forward, Uttanasana. Keep your hands on your blocks. Inhale, lift up halfway again, Ardha Uttanasana. Engage your back muscles. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift up, engage, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. You can move the blocks out of the way, bring your hands down to the floor, and then bend your knees a lot. Plant your hands at the top of your mat and step back into a plank pose. And let's all put the knees down for just a second. Let's get the hands set up. So hands set up like down dog. Spread your fingers, turn your hands out, shoulders over wrists. And then like down dog, push the mat away with your hands, spread your shoulder blades apart and lift your belly. Make your low back more like a tabletop and not like a cow pose or a cat pose. Good. Now from here, lift your knees, plank pose. Squeeze your legs, look in front of your fingertips and push the mat away with your hands. Like you had a corset on, pull your front ribs in and back, hold. Hold, but still breathe. Good. Come onto your knees. Do this a couple of times. Shift your shoulders forward and then shift back. Do it again. Shift forward so your shoulders come a little forward of the wrists and then shift back. Do it one more time. Shift forward. Now keep your body in one straight line. You have the benefit of a zoom camera. So if you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, look at yourself. And then you can bend the elbows and slowly lower to your belly. Hands will stay where they are. Come to the tops of your feet. Push the tops of your feet down. Lift your knees, engage your legs. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you like there's a pencil and reach your elbows straight back. Firm the back of your body, and then without using your hands, use your back muscles. Lift up Cobra, Bhujangasana. Good. Lower down, curl the toes under, come back to hands and knees, press back to downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here or so. So big inhale together. Exhale fully. Again. One more breath. Good. Look forward. Walk your feet up to your hands. Feet are still hip width. This time, put your hands on your shins. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Engage your back muscles. Exhale, fold forward, hands down. Do that again, hands to shins. Inhale, half lift, look forward, engage your back muscles. Exhale, fold forward. Last time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Good. When you're ready, spike your heels down. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Look up, touch your hands. And bring your arms down. Pause. Tadasana, like the world's slowest sun salutation, because we did everything many times. And it was definitely a regress version. Remember, regressing something is making it easier. This time, bring your big toes together, heels slightly apart. Harder to stand in Tadasana when feet are closer, so do what you can. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Good, exhale, go right down, fold forward. Hands to shins, inhale, half lift, engage your back like cow pose. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands at the top of your mat, and step back into a plank pose, right leg, then left leg. Firm your legs in plank, you guys. Push the mat away. If you can keep your knees up, do it. Shift forward, inhale. Exhale, shift back. So you're just shifting forward on the toes. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, shift back. One more time, inhale, shift forward. This time in one piece. Bend your elbows, slowly lower all the way down. Keep your hands where they are. Come to the tops of your feet. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, lower down. Curl toes under. Come through hands and knees. And press back downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Good. Look forward. Walk your feet to your hands. Remember to bring those big toes together, heels slightly apart, hands to shins. Inhale, half lift, engage. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Look up, touch your hands. And exhale, Tadasana, return arms by your sides. Pause and breathe. Keep your big toes together. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, left leg first, then right leg plank pose. Firm legs in plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slow lower to your belly. Come to the tops of your feet. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, curl the toes under, press back downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. Next time you inhale, lift your heels up high. Look forward. Bend your knees a lot. Exhale all the way to empty. And then on no breath, step, right leg, left leg, feet to hands. Big toes touch. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, bring your arms down and pause and breathe. Great. So continuing on, grab one of your blocks and put it between your upper inner thighs on its flattest face. And then stand at the top of your mat. So obviously your feet can't come all the way together with a block here. So feet are more hip width, but spread your toes wide. Find a nice Tadasana. Squeeze the block with your inner thighs. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Keep squeezing the block. Exhale, dive forward. Uttanasana. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hands to shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Now keep the block. Bend your knees. Plant your hands. And take little hops back. Maybe 1 or 2 to downward facing dog. Squeeze the block. Squeeze the block between your inner thighs. Good. From here, inhale, plank pose. Keep squeezing the block. Shift forward. Exhale, lower to your belly. The block is going to push up towards the ceiling. Keep squeezing it. Come to the tops of your feet. Engage your back muscles. Lift up little cobra. But this time, put some weight in your hands and maybe you come up a little bit more. Good. Exhale, lower down, curl the toes, press back down dog, squeeze the block. Next inhale, float your heels up and look forward. Walk your feet in like an inch or two. Bend your knees a lot, squeeze the block, exhale all the way to empty, and you'll take maybe a couple baby hops or one big hop, feet to hands. Squeeze the block, hands to shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Squeeze the block, inhale, reach up. And exhale, arms by your side, pause. So noticing how sun salutations feel when we're now engaging more of our deep core by squeezing the block. Slide the block higher. If it was like mine, it slid down. We're gonna do one more like this. Spread your toes, squeeze the block with your inner thighs. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Listen carefully, plant your hands, squeeze the block. Hop back, plank pose, once or twice. Squeeze the block here, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Come to the tops of your feet. Push into your hands, engage your back. Lift up, inhale. Good, exhale, lower down. Curl toes under. Press back, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. Squeeze the block. Walk your feet in a little bit. Look forward. Inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees. Maybe one hop or several hops. Exhale fully. Remember the bandhas. And on no breath, hop. Feet to hands. Good. Half lift. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bring your arms down. Pause for a moment. Mountain pose. Great. You can take the block out. Keep it with you. So we're going to keep the block on its second side at the top of your mat, like so. So just set it down on the second side at the top of your mat. And then stand with your big toes behind that block. Back to big toes together, heels apart. Now we don't have a block between our inner thighs, but pretend like you do and squeeze your legs. When you're ready, inhale, reach up. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the floor, either side of block, or the block's there if you need it. Good. Bring the heels of your hands to the sides of the block. Lift up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands correctly, either side of the block. And like you were squeezing a block, hop back to plank pose. Good. For this first one, put your knees down. Shift forward again. And the block, my teacher Noah would say, imagine it's like a sharp knife, which is very dramatic, but you get the point. And you don't want to get cut. So as you bend your elbows, you have to shift more forward. Hover your chest above the knife. Don't let your chest touch. This is actually chaturanga. Push back up. Lift your knees, press back, downward facing dog. It's actually not chaturanga. Chaturanga is with your knees up, but you get the point. That's how you hover chaturanga, which is why I rarely teach it, because I rarely see anyone do it in a well-aligned way. So we're breaking it down. Good. Look forward. Lift your heels. Walk your feet in. Bend your knees. Exhale. Squeeze, pretend block. Hop or step. Feet to hands. Bring your hands to the blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your arms down. So when we look at chaturanga, you guys can sit down or just stand up, whatever's easier. Common misalignment is the chest. Hold on, it's hard to see with my sweatshirt. Is the chest is tight. And so when we lower down, it's sort of like our arms kind of come forward and our chest and our back is weak. So what we have to do in chaturanga is squeeze our shoulder blades together and lift the arms back. That's hard. Yeah. So the stronger our back is, the easier that becomes. And how do we get our back stronger? Belly down back bends in general strengthens the back body. Okay. One more like this. So stand with your big toes behind the block. Tadasana, take a moment. Let your breath settle. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Bring hands to blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands either side of the block. Step or hop back, plank pose. Let's keep our knees lifted. Shift forward, lower, and hover your chest above the block. Push up, plank. Press back down, dog. Oh boy, that's hard. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale, walk your feet in, lift your heels up, look forward, bend your knees, exhale, hop or step, feet to block. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, bring your arms down. Pause, mountain pose. You can move that block out of the way. Grab your strap, if you have one. And you'll make the loop of your strap about shoulder distance, so you can kind of measure. And I'll come closer so you guys can see. You actually want to slip above your elbows into the strap. So above the elbows. And then I can already tell mine's too small. You want to be able to bend your elbows towards the sides of your waist, and you have a little bit of room. Like they're not glued together. You've got a little bit of space. Yeah. Okay. Once you've got that set up, then you can just fold forward, and you'll have to bend your knees a lot. Plant your hands accordingly. Keep a baby bend in your elbows to pull the strap apart, and then walk back to down dog. You're going to end up with the strap kind of on your forehead like a headband, which is fine. This is just to teach us something. Good. Inhale to plank pose here. Put your knees down. Now, put a micro bend in your elbows so you can pull the strap apart. Like I might not be able to see the bend in your elbows, but you could feel it because you're abducting, pushing away with the arms. Shift way, 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 way forward of the wrist. So your shoulders come way, 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 way forward. Lift your belly like plank, and then bend your elbows, and the strap will catch you on your chest, and you hover here. Pull your shoulders back. It's chaturanga. Push up, push back, downward facing dog. You know we're going to do that with our knees off the ground. Just take a couple breaths here. Good. Inhale, plank pose. Baby bend in elbows. Break the strap. Shift way, way, way forward. Bend your elbows. Pause, hover. The strap catches you. Pull your shoulders back like a back bend. This time, come to the tops of your feet. Push your feet down. Lift your arms up. Thighs are off the floor, downward or upward dog. We'll work this more in a minute. Good. Come onto your knees. Lose your strap. Have a seat. Take a rest. Sun salutations are hard, y'all. Chaturanga is really hard to do well. And then up dog, which that's the first time we didn't do cobra, we did up dog. Up dog is really hard. It's a really big back bend, which is why I so rarely teach it, because rarely are people actually warmed up enough in their back bend practice to do a good up dog. So we'll talk a little bit about it. Chaturanga and up dog are similar in that we're trying to pull the upper arm bones back, whether we're in chaturanga or our arms are straight and we're in up dog. So for a second, everyone seated, stretch your arms in front of you, turn your palms down, and flex your wrist like you're doing plank pose on the wall in front of you. And push the mat away a little bit. Good. Lower your hands like an inch or two. Bend your elbows. They don't touch the body, but they're right to the sides of the body. Pause here. Good. Now, like you were squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades, Pull your upper arm bones back. Squeeze the pencil. This is chaturanga upper back. Straighten your arms behind you. Pull the arms back, lift your chest. This is how our chest should feel in upward facing dog. So the upper arm bones pull back. One more breath. Good. Go ahead and release, rest, take a couple of breaths. Set your blocks up the top corners of your mat. So they're flat blocks, top corners of your mat. Then bring the heels of your hands to the bottoms of the blocks, kind of the bottom edge, and then spread your fingers so wide, and you'll want to turn your hands out still. But my pinky finger thumbs are like not on the block. They're kind of curling around the sides of the block. So just know that that's okay. And then from here, lift your knees up, press back down dog. You might have to walk your feet in a little. You are pressing a little forward with the blocks, but mostly pressing down. So if you're sliding too much, you're pressing forward too much. And then just walk your feet up towards the blocks so they're kind of right behind the blocks, big toes together. Good, bring hands to shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold in, and when you're ready, sweep the arms up, reach up, look up. And bring your arms up. Take a moment here. Good, when you're ready, inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, fold, put your hands on the block. Come up to your fingertips, lift up halfway. Bend your knees a lot. Plant those hands appropriately on the blocks, really grip the blocks, and then hop back to plank pose. Keep your knees lifted if you can. Shift way forward. Pretend that strap is going to catch you. Bend your elbows, chaturanga, pause. Remember, pull your shoulder blades back. Come to the tops of your feet. Pull your feet forward. Straighten your arms. Pull your arm bones back and almost see how I'm like wiggling like a worm. Chest forward, pubic bone forward, heart up, chest up. But you got to pull your arms back like you were squeezing a pencil back there. Told you, up dog's hard. Roll over the toes, press back downward facing dog. Ooh-wee. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, float your heels high, look forward. Bend your knees. Exhale fully, empty your lungs, and then hop your feet forward. Easier to hop with blocks. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring arms down, pause. Let's do one more with hands on blocks. That helps us in our up dog. So practice here, you guys. Bring your arms by your sides. Flex your wrists like you were pushing your hands to the floor. And then slide your arms back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. This is how the chest should feel in up dog. Good. Relax. Tadasana. One more like this. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands on the blocks. Hop or step back, plank pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, come to the tops of your feet. Pull your chest forward. Pull your pubic bone forward. Pull your arms back, arms straight. Chest up, gaze up, heart up. Thighs are off the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice work. Couple breaths. It's a lot on the wrists, like up dog. So if you're like, oh boy, you're not alone. Inhale, lift your heels, look forward. Bend your knees, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms down. Breathe. So you can move your blocks. So before we do our last couple rounds of Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A, with no props, we've broken it down enough times, know that there's one final piece. And that is, instead of hopping back to plank, the actual Sun Salutation is you hop back right to chaturanga. Now, that's hard. So a couple things to notice if you want to try that or not. Just like assess your chaturanga. And if your chaturanga is like still a little weak and wobbly, I vote you hop or step to plank and lower chaturanga. That happens on exhale. Those of you that feel like your chaturanga is solid, you'll hop right back to chaturanga on exhale. I'll talk you through it, but just know that's like the final piece. I wouldn't lose sleep over that piece. I rarely hop back to chaturanga, if I'm being honest. But just know that that's like the technical thing. All right, so prop free, big toes touch at the top of your mat. Surya Namaskar A. We'll do this a few times, and I'll try to keep it pretty normal pace so you kind of get the gist. Keep in mind, this isn't Surya B. We haven't even touched that. Maybe we'll do that next time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. This is the foundation of any vinyasa class. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands so you can hop back to plank and then lower, or hop right back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Push the mat away. Pull shoulders back. Thighs off the floor. Lift up, gaze up. Exhale, downward facing dog. So your options are either step back, plank, exhale, lower, chaturanga, or hop back, exhale, plank. It's like, or exhale, chaturanga. It all happens at once. Take a couple of breaths here. And then the same thing here, when we go to down dog forward, you can either step or hop. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, exhale fully, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Tadasana. Take a breath or two. Settle in. Doing it again. Big toes together. Legs strong. Inhale, sweep up. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You'll either step back, plank, and lower, or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. Good. Walk your feet in, lift your heels, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, empty the lungs, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep up. Good. Exhale, bring your arms down. We're going to do this one more time. Kind of at that normal pace. Inhale, exhale. Noticing that essentially all we're doing in sun salutations is like, you know, that inhale, half lift, that's cat pose or cow pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, another cow pose. So we're doing like extension, flexion, extension, flexion. All right, big toes together. Here we go. Last but not least. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Last couple breaths in your last down dog here. Make it strong. Walk your feet in, lift your heels, look forward, big inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Empty your lungs on no breath, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Tadasana, pause. Let your breath slow down and settle. Good. From here, soften your knees, come forward, bend your knees, sit in like a little squat shape for a moment. And then when you're ready, lower your hips, roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and rock a little bit side to side. When you're ready from here, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. We'll just do a nice gentle figure four stretch so you can thread your arms between the legs. Just gonna stretch the hips. I still like to very slowly, like I was in slow motion, rock side to side. Few more breaths on this side. Keep your figure four legs, release your arms, and just tip your legs to the left, keeping them in figure. Hand can hold the right ankle, and you could stretch your right arm out. Just take a little twist here. Last breath or two. Release your leg, tip your legs up, switch. So left ankle over right thigh. Do the figure four first. So bring your legs in, thread your arms, stretch your hip, take some breaths. Last moments. Keep your legs in figure four, tip them to the right this time. Right hand can hold that left ankle, turn belly to left, stretch your left arm out. A few breaths here in the twist. Last couple moments. Good. All right, you guys, come back to center. Pause with your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock together and just rest your hands on your belly here for a moment. If you need some like windshield wipers, I'm never gonna say no to those, or any other like last minute little movements. We didn't do anything wild, but there's a fair amount of forward bending just inherent in sun salutation. So I know for me, my back doesn't love a ton of forward bending. So just take care of yourself, but eventually you will set yourself up for Shavasana. So, take your time to kind of set yourself up well. Feel free to use, especially your blanket that we didn't really use. That can be a great option for support in Shavasana if you want or need it. And it's worth setting yourself up well. So that for these last few minutes in our practice, you can really rest. It's like kind of what I was saying at the beginning. We don't think we got time. And if we don't make the time, then of course we're not going to have time. But if we make the time for even just a few minutes, can be very, very beneficial. And it definitely doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's like just a few minutes of rest. Bring everything into balance. And you're trying to just allow for stillness and quietness, softness. And just let your body rest here for the last few minutes. Start to deepen your breath here in your rest. With the option, of course, like at home, is you don't have to be done and you can stay in Shavasana as long as you want. But if you're feeling ready to sort of shift, you can take your time, roll over and meet me seated for the last few moments. And if you are seated, just rest your hands, try to lift and lengthen the spine and the back skull. Trying to stay soft in your tongue and your jaw and your face. And regardless if you're still in Shavasana or you're seated, just take some full deep breaths here and kind of check in. When you're ready, draw your hands together. And so may this practice benefit us and serve us on the mat and most importantly off the mat. Thanks for coming today. Those of you doing this later, thank you so much. You can end with a bow. Thank you guys. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye.